Hi guys, so my name is Blake Smith and I am going to be making omelets two ways. I've already washed my hands and here's my mise en place. So the first thing I'm going to be making is the French omelet. So I've got my 2 eggs here. This is my compost bowl, and we actually do have a compost in our backyard, so they will be going back there at the end of this video. Okay, so now I'm going to take a fork and make sure that they are combined. There's no white streaks left. Alright, I don't see any white left. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt. Okay, just make sure that's mixed in. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to come over to the stove. Grab my butter. Alright, so I'm just going to put this on medium, low. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of butter. So you know that it's ready when you can see some of the white parts of the butter. I'm going to go ahead and grab my spatula while this butter is melting. Ideally you would have all of this around your stove, but we don't really have any counter space next to our stove, so I'll be going back and forth. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Alright, now once all that butter's melted, I'm going to add my eggs. So I'm going to make sure that I keep stirring it as it cooks, going around those outside edges. Once it becomes more like a paste, I'll let it sit for a few seconds and then I'll start my folding. So you can see it's starting to get a little more firm. So it looks like we're there. So I'm going to turn off my stove. Okay. So using gravity, I'm going to try to fold it over. I'll let it kind of seal a little bit on that bottom. You can see how there's no browning on the outside, which is what we want in a French omelet. All right, so now I'm gonna try to plate this up. Got my plate here. And there we've got it. So here is my French omelet. I can open it up so you can kind of see. It's nice and runny in the middle. You can see in there. It looks delicious. So now I'm gonna start cutting my veggies and then make my American omelet. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to cut is, I think I'm going to start with my onion. Okay, so this is I'm going to ciselé my onion. First thing I'm going to do is chop it in half. Okay, and I'm going to cut off an end. Okay, put it into my compost. And I'm going to take off the outside layer. Okay, now, so I'm going to cut vertically and then some horizontal cut before I make my dices. So, about 90% of the way up so that everything stays together. Now I'm going to come in horizontally like that. I'm going to go ahead, and since this onion is so long, I'm going to go ahead and cut some like this. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. Vertical cuts again. Horizontal cut. All right, and then we're ready to dice. And this onion is almost longer than my knife, so I do need to like put it over like this for the last few cuts. Okay, so that's our onion. I'm going to put it aside in a bowl. Got this bowl here. All right, now I'm going to make some small dices out of my green pepper. Okay, so this is my green pepper. I'm going to cut off the top. Since I have a clean knife, cut off the top. Cut off the bottom. And now I'm just going to take off the sides without the seeds. The seeds are not good for us to eat. They're a little bit bitter. Okay, so I've got that. Compost it. Since this isn't like a really spicy pepper, it is safe to put in your compost. Alright, so now I'm going to make some dices. So skin side down for safety. We don't want it sliding around when you're trying to cut it. So I'm going to make some juliennes. Okay. These are pretty small, but I just don't like anything to go to waste, so I try to use all of it. But these are pretty small. Okay, so now I'm going to try to line these up so I can make some dices. I'm going to try to do like all the similar sizes. So these are all about the same size. There we go. All right. Move on to these. All right, so that's my bell pepper. Put it to the side. All right, now I'm going to concass my tomato. So I'm going to cut them each into 3 sections. This. Okay, and we're going to remove these seeds. So I'm going to take my knife. There we go. So there's one. All right. Now we're going to julienne these and dice them. Alright, that is all of our chopping. I'm just going to leave these tomatoes here, and now I'm going to get my eggs ready for the American omelet. So I'm going to do a couple of eggs. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. Just make sure they're all combined and there's no pieces of whites left. That looks really good. I'm going to add a little salt. All right, now we are ready to make our American omelet. So I'm just going to wipe out my pan with a paper towel. We don't want any already cooked egg in with our egg. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing and put some butter in my pan. While the butter's melting, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of my veggies. I think I want about so I'm going to put these in my omelet. Now that my butter is melted, I'm going to add my eggs. So I'm just going to keep pulling it to the middle. Okay. I'm going to pull it to the middle so the uncooked part can fill in what's been cooked. Turn this down a little. It's starting to look pretty good. All right, now that it's getting cooked, this is a great time to put in our veggies. So we're just going to put it in on one side. We're almost there, it just needs to brown a little more. All right, so now that it's gotten some browning, I'm gonna go ahead and fold it over. Like this. There we go, and you can see this browning, which is great. So now I'm gonna attempt to put it on my plate. Okay, and there we have it. This is our American omelet. You can see the browning on it, and we can do a comparison between the two. So here you can see there's some browning. Here we have no browning. Let me go ahead and open this up so you can see. I think it looks great. I'm very excited to eat it. All right, so that is my final practical exam. Thank you, professors. This was a great class and I learned a lot. Have a great Christmas.